Yeah, good evening all. So myself, I'm Vijay. I hold like 15 plus years of experience, which includes nearly 8 plus years of experience in Python environment. So my experience includes design, development, and implementation of Python and Django based applications. Well versed in implementing different Python libraries like NumPy, CP, Pandas, PyTables, URLlib, Matplotlib, right? Experience in implementing large-scale business critical systems using object-oriented programming design and using Python and Django, and developing variety of web application, implementing MVT architecture using server-side applications, right? So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Fine, fine. Okay, thank you. So just I'm muting you all. So at the end of the session, I'll be giving time for your general queries, right? And at the end of the session, right, I'll be briefing you about all the training levels, how the training is going to go, right?
Can you please louder? We are
Yes.
able to hear.
So as part of today's demo, I'm going to cover the following topics. Why Python? So already we have got many programming languages, right? Why again Python required? And Python is not a kind of technology which is very recently introduced, right? It was introduced in the year 1989, almost like 30 years ago, right? Why all of a sudden Python has got a great boom? Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, right? What are the reasons which makes Python super popular? Why Python has got a great boom in today's market? Why it is widely used today? Even in implementation of different high-end technologies, right? That we will be discussing. And who can learn Python? Who can learn Python? What are the prerequisites? Is there any prerequisites for learning Python? There is no prerequisites for learning Python. Anyone can update with Python. Means it doesn't require any prerequisites like C language or Java kind of programming. Python syntaxes, they look like normal English statements. They look like normal English statements and with very less coding. Okay, so I'll be just taking you and I will compare the code of Python with other programming languages. You can just check how simple these Python statements as compared with other programming. So people from non-programming or zero programming, right? Yes, today, tomorrow, right, next 2 or 3 days, you can just observe, right, how these Python statements as compared. I'll show you some sample like codings of Python. I'll take a task and I'll try to implement the task in multiple programming languages, and I'll show you how simple you can easily analyze each and every statement, what happening in each statement in the case of Python, right? So there is no prerequisites that you need to have some programming knowledge, right? Anybody. And we'll be discussing everything from the scratch ground level to the advanced level, right? So each and every syntax of Python will be discussing from that core to advanced level. Yes. And how Python was built and how Python was derived and Python. So before you update with the technology, right, you need to know what kind of applications are we developing today by using Python. Python mostly used for developing what kind of applications? So I'll be just showing Python mostly used in developing one by one in brief and where exactly it is used, right? And Python usage and Python features. Who are using Python currently? Top most applications built by using Python. Python comparison with other programming, right? What are the features which we see only in Python, which won't see in other programming? What are the flexible features provided by Python? Right, as compared with other programming. Reasons why Python is suddenly super popular, one by one reasons why it is popular. And Python scope and job market. So before you update with any technology or programming, right, you need to show current job market of it and what is the scope of it in the coming days, in the coming years also. How many years it will last in the market? It is already in the market from the last 30 years. Still it is going to be, because today like wide usage of Python, right, in the current industry where most of the implementations going in Python. I'll just brief you about all those things, right? So you can just observe today and tomorrow just what is Python, the importance of Python, how it is used, what are the applications we are developing, scope of it, job market of it, right? Once again, can anyone please confirm, is my voice clear and audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Fine. Okay. So why Python? See, I define Python in 5 lines. I'll just brief you right one by one. But before that, Python is a general purpose programming language, and multi-programming language, multi-programming features are involved, right? High-level language, interpreted language, and user-friendly programming language, right? I'll just brief you one by one. What is general purpose programming? Python is a general purpose programming. Okay. Before Python, we had some programming languages. Before Python, there were some like programming languages like you had like Pascal, Fortran, COBOL, right? If you observe these languages, Pascal, Fortran, and COBOL, these are purpose-based languages. They are not for all the purposes, but they are used for a specific purpose. Purpose-based languages, right? For example, if we talk about Pascal, for developing scientific applications only. Fortran for complicated mathematical applications. COBOL for business applications. Means they are used for specific purposes, not for all the purposes, right? But a language which is suitable for developing any type of application, a language which is suitable for developing any type of application. Such a language we call it as general purpose programming language. So Python is such a kind of programming where we can develop any type of applications like automation applications, web applications, gaming applications, networking applications, desktop applications, embedded applications, right? In this way, wide varieties of applications we can develop today by using Python. That's why we call it as a general purpose programming. It's not for a specific purpose, or it's not a purpose based language, right? Okay. So here multi-programming features. I'll give a labor example. If you want to launch a new product in the market, a labor example, if you want to launch a new product in the market, think that you want to launch a new mobile phone, right? To attract the customers, what features you want to see? All the features of various mobiles, everything if you are embedding into a single piece, and if you release, right, going to attract the customers. In the same way, Python is a kind of programming where we see the features of different other programming languages within it, right? Like procedural oriented, object oriented, scripting, and modular programming features, right? I'll discuss in brief about this. But Python has got what all the programming languages we see, right? All those features we can see within Python. That's the reason today, like, Python is mostly used even in research and development, right? Because of multi-programming features. That's why we call Python as a hybrid language. Okay, so Python is mostly used today even in research and development. Okay, fine. Even NASA is using Python for its research and development activities because of its multi-programming features. Yes, Ramanjanailu, please be in mute. Okay. High level language. Python is a high level language. Okay, there are two types of languages, I can say. There are two types of languages. Okay. Two types of languages. Low level and high level. Low level languages and high level languages. Low level languages, examples of low level languages like assembly level language, right? Assembly level language, machine level language, right? So these languages are not human understandable. They are not human understandable. Firstly, they are not human understandable, right? And they are not portable. Yes. Next, like machine dependent. They cannot run on all the hardwares and all the operating system, right? Machine dependent. Yes. So not human understandable, they are not portable and machine dependent, cannot run on all the hardwares and all the operating systems, right? Yes. And high level languages like Python is a high level language. It's human understandable, right? The statements of Python looks like normal English statements, right? They are not as complex as other programming. So human understandable, they are portable and machine independent. They can run on all the hardwares and all the operating systems, right? Yes, human understandable, they are portable and machine independent, can run on all the hardwares and all the operating systems. Yes. And interpreted language, Python is a interpreted language. Interpreted means line by line execution you are going to observe, right? Line by line execution, right? Yes. So there are compilation languages available and interpretation languages available, right? Yes. Python is a interpretation language. Example of interpretation, Python. Example of compilation, C language, right? So if you got some lines of code, if you got some piece of code or lines of code, right? This compilation languages executes the entire code at once and display the errors, if any errors in these lines, right? But interpretation, line by line execution. If any error in this particular third line, it won't execute the remaining lines. Abnormal termination, right? Statement by statement is going to execute, not all the code at once. So which makes debugging easy, right? Yes. User-friendly programming or programmer-friendly programming, which provides simple syntaxes. The syntaxes of Python looks like normal English statements. And here the popularity, if you see that popularity of Python today, Python is the #1 ranked programming today, right? So I'll show you some graphs at the end of the session. I'll show you with that. I'll open Google and show you the usage of Python in the current industry as compared with other programming, which is the mostly used one, most popular coding language in the current industry, right? Now, two major programming languages, right? Now, like we have got Python and Java, right? Two major programming language. Frankly speaking, right? If you go back.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
Shubham this side. Sir, can you explain once how Python is interpreted language?
So here Python, okay, line by, what do you mean by interpretation? What do you mean by compilation means? Okay, observe here. Interpretation languages are there, compilation languages are there. What do you mean by compilation means? Executing the entire code at once. Executing the entire code at once, that is what we call it as compilation, and displays if any errors are there, it displays. If in second line there is an error, fifth line there is an error, seventh line there is an error, it displays those. Interpretation, line by line execution. Interpretation means line by line execution. What do you mean by interpretation? Executing the code line by line. So what kind of programming language Python is? Means it follows interpretation. C language is a compilation. So here first statement, second statement, statement by statements from top to bottom, it executes. During this process, if any error is encountered, it won't execute the remaining statements. But in here, it executes all the statements, even if you got error, right? But it will just display the errors, how many errors within this code. Fine. Okay. So if you go back like 10 to 12 years ago, right? The usage of Java and Python, right? So Java is 43% used in the industry, right? By 2010, like if you go like 10 to 12 years, most of them are not aware that there was a programming language like Python. most of them are not aware that there was a programming language like Python, right? Yes. Okay, Python only 3% used. If you go back like 10 to 12 years ago, it was very less used in the industry. But if you go back after 10 years later from 2020 onwards, right? If you see the usage of Java and Python, usage of Java to 19% and Java Python to like 31%. So in the coming years, you see much more increase of Python, right? Yes. So Java programmers or Java developers are strictly restricted to use only object-oriented programming. But Python can use any kind of programming, right? Like object-oriented, procedural-oriented, modular programming, scripting. That's why it has got hybrid features, which is widely used in the industry today, right? Python, another feature, main feature of Python, like it has got 89,300 inbuilt modules. 89,300 inbuilt modules for different domains, right? Whatever domain you are from, Python is providing a module. If you're from testing background, Python has got modules for it. If you're from networking, or if you're from data science, or if you're from big data, for example, if you're from data science background, Python has got separate modules for data science environment, for plottings, visualizations, for data analysis, predictions, classifications, clusterings, recommendations, right? So we have got many modules like NumPy, CP, Pandas, Matplotlib, right? Separate modules Python is providing. That's why Python is the mostly chosen programming for data science, right? Even for big data like Spark, right? Python has got separate modules for this big data side. Yes, not only for this data science or big data, even for networking, network applications, right? Python is mostly preferred. It is also providing a separate framework for networking, right? Network programming, right? It has got separate modules. And apart from this, Python is also used. Python is also like for science, okay, in operating systems, OS kinds of activities. The name of the model itself is OS. The name of the model itself is OS, right? Yes. Okay. Separate models for this operating system, right? For writing a Python program to delete a directory, to remove a file, to see the contents of a directory. By writing Python statements only, we can perform all those, right? Those kind of automation. And if you're from database background, for every database, Python has got a module. For Oracle, separate module like CX_Oracle. If you have whatever database, if you are using like MySQL, PyMySQL, MySQL.connector module available for this, using which Python can easily connect with any database. It's not as complex as other programming, right? And for SQL Server also, right? Has got PyODBC is the model for everything. For example, if you're working with some files, right? Some kind of files. I write a Python program to create an Excel workbook or Excel file. Just execute 4 to 5 lines and just check a Excel workbook or Excel file will be created. Again, I'll add some more 2 lines of code, and multiple Excel sheets you can create within the Excel workbook, right? I want to insert data into the second sheet. I want to read data from the third sheet. All this you can perform by writing Python statements itself. And even I can, by writing Python statements only, I can create tables in the database. Go and check. Table gets created, data gets inserted. You can delete the rows, you can retrieve the rows. All that you can perform by writing Python statements itself only. And any kind of file, CSV file, the name of the model itself is CSV, XML files. We have got a separate model with the name XML. Python program to create PDF file, reading data into it, writing data into it, right? Any kind of operations. For statistical operations, we have got separate module, and even for generating graphs, any type of graphs, normal graphs, bar graphs, histograms, scatter plots, stack plots, pie graph. It's very simple generating graphs in Python. And for mathematical operations, math module. In this way, 89,300 modules for various domains, not only for computer applications, even for other electronics, civil environment, also Python has got modules, right? Okay. Python mostly used for developing what kind of applications? Python real-time applications, right? I'll just brief you one by one up where exactly Python is used today. What kind of applications we can build, right? Mostly like web applications, right? Lot of web applications are getting developed using Python. Immediately you may ask a query. We have got Java, .NET, right? Many other technologies for developing web applications from the last 20 to 25 years. Why again Python required? Means Python has got some frameworks, right? Python has got some frameworks. Yes, it has got frameworks like the Django Framework, Flask Framework. Among all those, Django is the famous framework, right? At a rapid speed, we can develop a web application using this, right? It has got many flexible features. It has got its own database and its own application server, right? In this way, we have got many flexible features with very less coding, and at a rapid speed, you can develop web application using this as compared with other technologies, right? And today, Python mostly used in automation applications. Everything getting automated today. Lot of automation applications getting created today. See this like technologies like data science, like technologies like IoT, as AWS or DevOps, right? So in this, especially if you talk about see IoT, Internet of Things, right? So everything through online today. Online banking, online shopping, online exams, online healthcare, online education, e-learning, online business, e-commerce, online communication like audio, video, chatting, online healthcare, right? So IoT is a physical network or device embedded with electronics, software, sensors, and network connectivity for collecting data, exchanging data, and controlling the things from the place where we are, right? So electronic devices connecting and communicating with each other, right? So in the coming days, lot of automation applications you are going to see, but here most of this coding goes in Python, 90% of the coding in Python. If you talk about this data science, everything deals with the data science, data science, like data analysis, data predictions, data classifications, data clustering, data recommendations, right? It's a blend of technique. The main technique what we see in data science, machine learning, right? Machine learning, it has got many techniques, regression techniques, classification techniques, clustering techniques, recommendations, right? It's a blend of techniques, right? With ML. So to implement all these machine learning techniques, we require a language to code. Okay, to code or yes, we require a language to implement or to code. We require a language. Among this, Python is the mostly chosen, right, programming language for implementing, right, machine learning techniques, where Python has got many models for plottings, visualizations, data analysis, right? Even for AWS or DevOps, if you talk AWS or DevOps, yes. So not only here, Python acts as a remedy to any problem in the IT industry, right? When it comes to this DevOps side, the ultimate goal to reduce the time taken in the DevOps life cycle in improving the efficiency, right? So Python is going to offer a structural solution in automating the tasks in each of the stages of DevOps life cycle, right? So it's Python is one of the best scripting language with vast variety of Python libraries, which allows to write scripts for the improved development life cycle. So Python provides structures to write structured and readable automation scripts, right? Apart from this, Python is also used in big data environment, right? Today, a lot of applications getting developed, right? We have seen like KBs of data, MBs of data, or GBs of data. But beyond that, we have got terabytes, petabytes, exabytes, zettabytes, etabytes, and sotabytes of data, right? So from TB onwards, we say like huge data, big data, right? Yes. So you should have seen KBs, MBs, GBs, or even TBs. But do you think like petabytes or exabytes of data, is it getting generated? Yes. Petabytes of data, 1 petabyte, 1024 TBs. Yes. Talk like in a minute itself, the huge data is getting generated. If I take 1 minute transaction in a minute, if we take example of Facebook, right? Millions and trillions of users for Facebook. In a minute, how many posts and videos are getting circulated? What should be the data generated by Facebook in a minute? What should be the storage capacity to store all this, right? And Twitter keeps on, okay, tweets keeps on generating, right? And everyone just querying in the Google, right? Google queries. What should be the storage capacity? What is the data generated by Google in a minute? And everyone creating your own videos and uploading in the YouTube, right? YouTube videos upload. What should be the storage capacity to store all this huge data, right? And even millions and trillions of people using email messages. Email messages, right? Yes. And here, like if you talk about email messages, and if you talk about bank transactions, telecom transactions, or e-commerce website like Amazon, Flipkart, right? Huge data is getting generated everywhere. So in petabytes, if you talk like Google generating more than 450 petabytes per month on an average, right? Means 450 in 2024 TBs, right? Yes. Four 450 into 1024 TBs, that is what the data generated by. It's not only this, many of data today, right? Right. Okay. So for this, we have got some big data tools available. So where Python is preferred, big data like Hadoop, you should have heard about big data, Hadoop and Spark, right? So they're used to like, they're using languages like Scala and Python, right? So especially Hadoop and Spark for huge data storage and huge data processing, right? Especially Spark, very high speed processing, petabytes of data, right? In quick time, like implemented by using Python, we call like PySpark, right? Spark with Python implementation, right? So apart from that, I'll just list out one by one all the various other applications where Python is mostly preferred. Even for scientific applications, if I talk about scientific applications, right? So for scientific applications, for numerical analysis, Python is preferred, right? Modules like NumPy module, CP module, numerical Python, scientific Python. Graphical user interface for animation applications, Python is providing modules like PyQt, TK Inter modules, right? Even for gaming or game development. Today, even at giving some game development, for gaming or for game development, right? So Python is mostly preferred today for single user, multi-user online games, especially for game development. Python is providing a framework called Pygame. It's a framework given by Python for developing games in Python, right? And even one more like PyCora is one more framework. Python is provided for developing games. And for 3D games and 3D rendering libraries are available with Python like PySoy, right? And apart from this, Python is also used for scheduling tasks. We have got Airflow for it. And for testing out for test cases, Python is preferred test cases. Apart from this, Python is also used for software development. It's also used for software development. So here software developers make use of Python as a support language. We use like BuildBot, Apache Gump for automated compilation and testing, right? Roundup track for project management and bug tracking. So Python is a kind, so software developers using Python as a support language. Apart from this, the Python is also used for business applications, right? Business applications. So Python is one of the best choice to develop e-commerce systems, right? E-commerce websites. So we have got one like Triton, we say Triton, a 3-tier high-level general purpose application, right? Developed by using Python. And apart from this, one of the hottest application of Python, database application, right? Database application. Without database, there is no web application, right? This we can connect with Python, can connect with any database like Oracle, MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, all this, right? Yes. And apart from this, Python is also used for network application or for network programming. For network programming, right? Yes, network applications. Separately, a framework is given for this network applications of programming, like Twisted Python, right? It's a framework given by Python for network applications. Apart from this, even if data in the database, we'll query it. If data not in the database, we will scrap it. Web scraping, we say, right? Web scraping. So scraping or harvesting or extracting data from different websites. And also Python, we have got models like URL, beautiful soup, BS4, right? Some models, yes. And also audio and video applications. So as part of the course, I'll also show you some kind of audio and video kind of applications creations. Okay. So some of the famous audio video applications created by using Python, like Tim Play or C Play, right? Yes. Apart from this, Python not only for computer applications, even for electronics or for civil environment embedded applications. One of the most famous embedded application like Raspberry Pi, Raspberry Pi, which uses Python for its computation. And apart from this, Python is also used for computer vision, like face detection, color detection. For these things, right? Python is preferred. And also for CAD, 3D CAD application, computer aided designing or 3D CAD applications, right? Python is preferred. And for robotics, and also for data analysis, right? Data analysis, we use this, right? Yes. So these are some of those, right, applications. In this way, we have got many applications, right, where Python is widely used today. So mostly used in automations today. So Java is never preferred for data science implementation, IoT implementation, or within this AWS or DevOps or in robotics, right? It is never preferred. So Python is mostly preferred, and even in web applications, scientific or in gaming side, in testing, right? in web scraping. So these are some of those, right? Yes. Who are using Python today? Just I'll take 5-10 minutes more. Right. Who are using Python today? Right. Topmost applications built by using Python. Topmost applications built by using Python. Topmost applications built using Python, right? Google using Python for its web search system, right? Okay. Yahoo using Python. Yahoo using Python, right? Yes. YouTube using Python for its video sharing service. See, Google is one of the best example of Python web application, right? Uber using Python, Uber pricing algorithm implemented using Python. Instagram built by using Python. The prime reason for Instagram for choose for Python, its practicality and its hybrid features, right? And some other applications like Quora, if you are about Reddit, Dropbox, Pinterest, and one of the famous OTT platform like Netflix using Python for its security, automation, and for subscription purpose, right? And even BitTorrent using Python for its file sharing service, and Maya, a powerful 3D animation, just like Photoshop, like it uses Python script, right? And apart from this, MMOG, massively multiplayer online games, massively multiplayer online games, right? Yes. And apart from this, Python is also, right, iRobot for military and commercial applications, and Iron Port email server, right? Iron Port email server, which uses more than 1 million lines of Python code for doing its job. And apart from this, Python used with for robotics. Okay. So Iron Port email server product, right? And also Python is used for hardware testing, right? Companies like IBM, Seagate, Qualcomm, all this, they use Python for hardware testing purpose, right? These are some of those who are using Python today. So like Yahoo, YouTube, Uber, Instagram, Reddit, Dropbox, Netflix, right? So now, before reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, right? Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, right? Yes. First thing, most of the programmers or developers are attracted towards Python and migrating towards Python because of its very less coding, right? So everyone likes the programming language with very less code and simple syntaxes, that too very less coding. Even if you talk about Linux shell script, but it look very complex to understand, right? But Python script or Python statements, like simple syntaxes given by Python, which looks like normal English statements, and multi-programming, what all the programming features you see in different other program, all that you can see within this Python. Hybrid features, interactive mode means we can easily interact with Python statement by statement. Interactive mode, statement by statement we execute, right? Yes. See, interactive mode means in the bottom search panel, I am typing CMD to go to the command prompt, right? Just type Python here and say enter. Python version is displayed here. Python interpreter, can you see this 3 arrow symbol? Any valid Python statements you can type, like 3 plus 5, 4 into 8, any valid statements. X as 10, no need to define the data types. Y as 5, what is X value, what is Y value, what is X plus Y, what is X minus Y, X into Y. Any valid statements you can type. X equal to hello, right? X into 3, 3 times, X into 5, 5 times, right? Any valid Python statements you can type and you can interact, right? This kind of feature you cannot see in other programmings. And apart from this, wide varieties of applications we can develop. I said wide varieties of application. I just brief you about all those applications what we create, and many built-in libraries, many built-in functionalities, many built-in libraries Python has got, right? Yes, for various environments. Fine. Okay, so these are the reasons, right, which makes Python super popular. Mostly very less coding, simple syntaxes, interactive mode, wide varieties of applications. So okay, fine, right? So I'll just open it and show you in the Google, right? Yes, just I'm opening Google, just say popular coding language. For example, from last 2-3 years, right? From 3 years, if you take, right, see that popular coding language most in demand, right? For web development, for gaming, for all this, right? See, top 10 programming languages. Python, can you see Python stands first, next JavaScript to Java, right? See, if you see this, the most popular programming, Python mostly used, next comes Java, JavaScript, other things, right? Yes, most popular, Python remains the most popular programming language. Just I opened in this Google, right? Yes. Most popular programming used by top 25 unicorns, Python, next Java, JavaScript. Yes, popularity of programming languages, right? Python first, next comes Java, JavaScript, right? And even if you see the usage of Python, can you see here a big circle for Python, a big circle? What is the percentage of usage? 31%, Java 19%, C++ nearly 10%. C 6%, right? So the usage of different programming languages, Python, right? A big circle among all, right? Yes. And if you see the ranking wise, which is the number one ranked, see this is rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Python stands first. Next comes Java, other programming languages, right? Yes. Right? Yes. So even today, if you see that job market of Python, see that average salaries and ranking by job openings, that also Python standing first. Just I am opening Google and showing you this, right? Yes. Most popular programming languages, right? Python first, next JavaScript, Java. So what I'm going to discuss as part of this course, right? Can just compare this syllabus with any other training institutes, right? We'll be seeing in depth with many topics, right? We'll see the topics, how brief we are going, how depth we are going into the subject. So that's why it's not a 45 hours course. So in brief, entire Python package, like it's going for 75 hours, like 2 to 2.5 months, right? 2.5 months, 75 hours, like yes, fine. Just observe this. Observe this Python starting from this, right? Just I have given the headings in this, but in the internally you will see many side headings, right, and subtopics within this, right? Why Python, history, its applications, features, advantages, versions, installations, flavors of Python, right? And also I'm going to show you in real time we use IDEs, different types of IDEs, right? Like Anaconda, Prompt Navigator, Jupyter, Spider, PyCharm, Atom, VS Code, right? So in this way, I'm going to show you all these IDs, not in 1 or 2 IDs. I'm going to show you nearly 5 to 6 IDs. So tomorrow, if you go to any environment, you can work on that, and right. So batch mode of executions, interactive data types, constants, variables, input output statements, comments, escape sequences, operators in Python, different types of operators. Just now I was talking about the Python IDs, different types of IDs, Anaconda, Jupyter, Spider, Conda, PyCharm, PyDev, Eclipse, NetBeans, flow control statements, looping statements in brief. There is a slight difference in this syntax between this other programming and Python, right? Strings in Python, right? Strings indexing, string slicing, string functions, string methods, string special characters, right? And similarly collections like list, tuples, sets, dictionaries, and different types of operations, list indexing, list slicing, list functions, list methods, list addresses, nested list, list modifications, right? And various methods supported by list. Similarly for tuples, for sets and dictionaries, right? In brief, looks very simple. Functions in functional programming in Python, how to define their properties, their categories, their types, default, non-default, keyword, non-keyword, variable length arguments, different types of functions like lambda function, filter function, map function, reduce functions, right? Modules in Python, where Python has got great boom today because of this modules concept. What is a module? How to import, different ways of importing, renaming a model, reloading a model, and package in Python, errors and exceptions in Python, right? Error handling, file handling in Python, object-oriented programming concepts in brief. Just I have given only that subtopics here: encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, static, non-static, constructor, destructor, right? Right. In this way, regular expressions to extract required data from the given data. So in the case of modules, I'll be discussing different types of modules. Some modules related to operating system, some modules related to graphics, some related to this regular expression, some related to databases, some related to data science, some related to big data, and how to create our own modules in Python, right? Regular expressions, database connectivity. I'll show you one database installation also before we connect with the database, and also how to connect with the database, how to perform operations, SQL operations, yes, transaction management, Python, some models related to date and time, some related to operating system, advanced concepts like iterator, generator, closures, decorators in Python, working with CSV files, XML, JSON files, graphical user interface, graphic GUI programming, and working with Excel workbook. And for data analytics, also Python mostly preferred. The mostly used models like Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, mostly I'll be discussing in brief, right? And also like as data science is mostly using Python, introduction to it also I'll provide, like Python Pandas model in brief, and also NumPy model in brief, and also like Matplotlib model also in brief. This is only Python, I said. What all we have discussed, like 30 topics, you can just compare with any other trainings, right? We see in brief, in depth, we'll be discussing statement by statement. So it's not that I'll bring some pre-written code and I'll explain, right? Everything I'll be typing and showing you. And sessions should be like interactive sessions. For every statement I type, you will be responding. Everyone will be responding, right? With the expected output. So the sessions will be live sessions. So actually you'll be responding for each and every statement I type. You'll be kept in unmuted status. And people who wants to go for full stack Python, right? For them, apart from this Python, we also provide like Django framework, introduction to it, web frameworks, Django installations, project architecture, applications creations, views, templates, Django admin, models, advanced concepts, all this, right? Apart from this, for this web applications creations, I also discuss UI technologies that is required for that: HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, and JavaScript, right? So every session is a video recorded. You will be getting the recorded video of the session that day itself. Yes, you can go through. If you're due to some office work or due to some ill health, if you're absent for 2-3 days, you can just go through that videos and attend the session for the better understandings, right? So getting the output is not the criteria here. We need to write your own code. So writing your own code, right? So here mainly we'll be discussing like how to build that Python code for any task provided, right? And each and every functionality, their drawback and its advantages will be discussing. Clear notes will be provided to your soft copy of notes to your mail IDs, right? Yeah. So yes, any queries from your side? Anyone has got any queries? Yes, tomorrow also you can attend the session, same time, using the same link to see more on this, right? Yes, comparison with other programming, coding wise, people from non-programming or zero programming, and just observe how simple Python statements in the tomorrow session, right? I'll be comparing with other programming languages code. Python syntax look like normal English statements.
Yeah, hi sir. I have few dots on Python.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. What will cover in advanced Python and what will cover in core Python like that? And what is full stack Python?
See, one second. See, there is only Python here. There is no concept. See, that's why I didn't give you any core Python, advanced Python here. Python is the one, it's a language. Python is a programming language. There is no concept like core, advanced like that. That's only given here in the some of the institutes like basic Python, advanced concept like advanced Python. So as part of this course, I'll be discussing all basic and advanced, all this. So I'll be covering
And some of the saying like it is the DevOps Python is also there. Some of the Python comes with DevOps like that.
procedural oriented programming with Python, object oriented with Python, scripting, Python script, and modular programming using Python, right? So procedural oriented programming, object oriented programming, scripting, and modular. This is what I'm going to discuss in brief, right? So Python core concepts and advanced concepts, everything in brief. I was just saying that you can compare this what is the course content with any other trainings, right? We'll be discussing from A to Z all this Python, right? Means Python basics in brief and advanced features with many modules related to different environments, right? See, Python is used for different environments, thousands of models Python has got. But in this course, I'll be showing you many widely used modules, mostly used modules. With that, you will get the idea how to use a module, how to get the help on a module, how to explore a module, how to work, and how to create our own modules. That's what I'll be discussing, right? I'll be concentrating on this. So at the end of this, right, you will be getting great command on this Python course for building your own code for different environments. People from big data or data science or from AWS DevOps or any other environments, yes, they can explore their domain specific modules once it is completed, once it is done, right? But that's the reason I am taking some of the modules related to some domains, like some data science related modules are there. So introduction to data science, pandas module, numpy module for plotting and generating graphs, matplotlib model I have taken, OS model I have taken, database model I have taken, right? So you will get, by this you will get the knowledge on how to work with modules and use the modules, right? Yes. And what is the difference between Python and full stack, right? Yes, it's not like I'm not going with any commercial aspects that you need to join this, right? So there are two categories of people who update for Python, right? I was saying that today, like most of the high-end technologies requires Python as the implementation language, like data science with Python, big data with Python, AWS, right, with Python, right, robotics and web applications with Python. The first category of people, they learn Python. Right? Whatever I said, all the 30 topics. And they learn Python and they'll use the Python. Their career won't be in Python. The first category of people, their career won't be in Python. Their career will be in data science, big data, in AWS or DevOps, IoT, robotics. Means their career will be in this. But for implementing, they go for total coding goes in Python, right? But second category of people who wants to have a career. So here second category of people who wants to have career in Python, like Python developer, they who wants to become like a Python developer, right? So those people, right, they need to take one step forward. So after updating with Python, okay, these Python developers, this who wants to have a career in Python, right? Those people need to go for full stack Python developer, right? Means as part of our course, I'll be discussing, observe the first thing is Python I'll be covering. Within this Python core, Python advanced oriented and application oriented models, everything related to Python will be covered. 75 hours, 2.5 months in brief, right? Total command you will get on this. So the fee structure is just 5K for it. It's a offer batch. And second, those apart from this, those who wants to go as a Python developer or full stack developer, if you want like full stack course, right? In this within the same, right? They need to go one step forward and you need to update first UI technologies. I'll be discussing about the UI technologies required in brief, that to not like overview. HTML, CSS, cascading style sheet, JavaScript, and Bootstrap. This is what I will be covering before I go with web development, plus and Django framework. Django framework, right? Yes. So here in Django, like 20 applications, I'll be showing you 20 applications creations, right? So these things. So this is also for, and also apart from this fourth, which includes a project. So in this, it is also just for 5K. It says is also an offer. Previously it was for 7K. Now it is given for 5K as a combo. If you take both at a time, right, with a single, it is given for only 9K. But later, first you pay for Python. Later, if you go for it, you know you're supposed to go for this. But at a time, if you are registering for both, so it is a given for 9K. This is what the total full stack Python you can just pay for 9K. Where you see Python entire package and UI technologies required, means the web technologies required, and a framework of Python for web application or project creation like Django, right? This.
And what is the duration?
So this is I said 2 to 2.5 months. This also it takes like 2 months. So this is what totally 4 to 4.5 months it takes. But even there is a chance people who doesn't have time, they can go parallelly in weekdays going with Python, in weekends Saturday 2.5 hours and Sunday 2.5 hours, totally 5 hours. In weekends we'll be having this batches of this Django and this, right? So in weekdays, you'll Monday to Friday, you will go with Python. In Saturday and Sunday, you'll be having sessions on this UI technology and Django, which they can go parallelly, which they can complete in 3 months.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Actually, I'm basically from manual testing background. I just want to switch my career to automation testing. So I just want to do Selenium with Python. So is this the right batch I need to join, or I need to connect with DURGASOFT?
So here Python knowledge, first you need to have the knowledge for anything, right? You require the knowledge of Python. I was saying, right? So for big data, for data science, for testing, for networking, for AWS, right? Python knowledge is required. So basics to advanced level, later you can go for implementing that. Using Python, you will be implementing different high-end technologies today, right? So directly, indirectly, you're going to touch Python. The prerequisite is Python for all this, right? So once you have got, means the coding or implementation goes in Python, right? First you need to have some command on this Python script and Python code. Even today, even administrators like network administrators, database administrators also, they are asked to get updated with Python, where they write Python scripts instead of complex shell script, right? So that's why even if you go for any Linux flavor, right? Red Hat Linux, CentOS or Ubuntu, by default, Python comes as a inbuilt within this Linux OS. No need of any separate installation also in that, right? So, okay, so I was saying directly, indirectly, you'll be touching this Python, right? Various in high-end technologies, right? So the learning Python and using that Python in different high-end technologies, that is first category. Second category, I won't recommend. First category, I won't recommend these things. For the first category of people, I won't recommend this. Learn only Python. If you want Python to be used for data science, big data, or Selenium or AWS DevOps. So for the first category of people, learn only Python, right? Not required UI technologies, and you are not going to develop any web application. Second category who wants to have career in Python, you can go for full stack Python. So not saying that you need to do all this, right? So
Hello.
only Python is required, right? Yes, yeah.
Yes, sir. What would be the duration if we learn parallelly this full stack in weekends also?
So I said like 3 months it takes, 3 to 3 months. Like it is going to reduce by 1 month, right?
Okay.
1 to 1 month.
Then for web developer, what should we learn? Another languages like SQL or AWS? Should we know the programming languages
So
also?
here in this also I'm going to cover some, means not the total, right? But so the knowledge required, SQL knowledge required, I'll be covering, right? SQL, which I use a database like MySQL, and even MVT architecture, right? Even compulsory, how to install a database and how to work with database, basic SQL operations. Next, how Python going to connect with database, everything I'll be briefing you, right, in this. So as any web applications require database, I'll also concentrate on SQL and MySQL database and Oracle database, right? And step by step installation of database I'll be showing you, and step by step installation of integrated development environments like Anaconda distributions, PyCharm, Jupyter, Spider, Eclipse, VS Code, all those IDs I'm going to show you, real-time IDs, right? What we use in real time.
Hello.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, hi Vijay. I'm working as a Selenium automation tester with Python, and I just want to upgrade my concept in Ops. So, how much time you are going to spend on Ops concept? Is there any specific time, like any idea?
So in brief, all the concepts will be discussed in all the state. Nearly like I'll be spending 25 to 30 hours on that.
Okay, thank you.
Because the object-oriented programming is the main, right? I said totally 70. It's not 45 hours course, right? It's a 75 hours course. So in that, all I'll be covering, right? Modular programming, object-oriented programming, procedure-oriented, and also like scripting, right? Yes.
Hi, sir.
Yes.
So post completion of this course, if you like take certification in Python, so do we need to have core and advanced and full stack also, or only core and Python, core and advanced is fine?
See, people who go for certification means like Microsoft certification and many other certifications of Python, right?
Okay.
So,
Yes.
So in that, I won't recommend this full stack, right? So only like Python is enough for that. For going for certification, Python programming, and that too, they won't test you much on this advanced concepts, right? They'll be just testing you with the basic Python concepts, like basics. I'll also show you that what is that, how your performance is going to measure, what are the syllabus they'll be, right? And where can you see that, what is the fee structure, how many questions, and what are the types of queries, everything I'll be discussing somewhere, right? But they'll be testing you with the basic Python, core Python only, even in certifications, mostly how good you are in the fundamentals, right? Not really.
So you'll be giving the guidance on this one also, just a heads up.
Yes. People who go for this kind of certification, why? Because where you can keep it with advantage to your resume and in your job search, right?
Oh, yes. Okay.
So that's also right. Yes, but that is no. I'm not saying no need to go for that Django or full stack for it. Python is enough for it.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, hi sir.
Yes.
I'm learning Informatica, so I won't be recommend for full stack, right?
If you are going for that, right? Yes, full stack. No, you are not going to develop any web application, right? You are going to perform some ETL, right? Transforming, loading, right? Yes. For you, like what I can recommend, like Spark with Python, PySpark.
Oh, okay. Python is recommended, right?
Yes, Python only. You don't need to go for full stack.
Okay.
Using Python, I can go with only AWS, or I can go with either AWS or Azure DevOps.
See,
Yeah, what, sir?
So here AWS or DevOps, right? Even if you go people who are updating with AWS or DevOps, right? We have got some modules in Python, Boto 3, other modules available, right? Even when you go for interview for AWS DevOps, the last round of the interview will be on Python round. You know Python scripts, you know Python. In this way, they'll ask you some queries on it.
No, what I'm asking, I have to go only for AWS or I can go either AWS or Azure?
After learning Python,
Yes.
Yeah, no, sir. He is asking like you have mentioned only AWS, right? Is it okay to join? Is it okay to continue with your career like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud, some other things like that? He's asking like that.
yes,
Yes.
it's a compulsory. Like today, like previously, if you go back with one technology, you used to get a job, but now with a single technology, you cannot run the show right in that industry. You need to have
So for
multiple.
Python, I have to go with AWS only. That is what my question is.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Still any other queries, right?
And currently, I have zero knowledge on scripting, sir. I have no knowledge on scripting like that. Is it okay for me to pick up in like that, sir?
There is no prerequisite for Python, right? Everything you can understand 100%.
Okay.
So people, right? Everyone will be kept in unmuted status. Everything you can interact, you can ask queries, doubts, right? This is like live sessions. So everything.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah.
You told for Informatica, I need that PySpark, right? Are you going to cover that, or do I need to join another course?
See, it's a big data course, right? Where you will be extracting huge data and you are transforming and you are going to process it by using Spark is the execution model implemented by using Python. So PySpark batches I'll be dealing in the weekend, right? Big data courses also I'll be handling. Hadoop Big Data, Hadoop Spark. So PySpark batch, right? This Saturday, last Saturday, I was just given introduction to that. Interested like this week at Saturday 3:30 it's there. People from ETL background or for data engineer background, right? They can go for it.
Oh yeah, so I don't need to join for this Python also.
Python is the prerequisite, right? For learning that PySpark, Spark with Python. Python is the prerequisite for data science or big data for this, right? Python is the prerequisite.
Okay. Thank you.
If the person start his career for DevOps means Python is fine, sir.
Python, if a person
trying to start career with in DevOps means Python, it is fine, sir. Or he has to learn full stack also.
Full stack not required. Python is enough.
And is there any full stack course after after Python course completion?
After Python course, you can go for, if you are interested, you can go for full stack also, not a problem. After you can also look jobs in Python as a Python developer, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm from Maharashtra because I'm only aware about only Hindi and English. So if I'm not able to speak in English, then can you speak in Hindi?
See, you can type it. You can type your query in the chat panel. Otherwise, whatever doubt you have got, you can ask me up. I'll give you a response. There's not a problem, right? You can also, if you want to ask, you can ask, not a problem. If you have got any query, you can ask me, not a problem. I'll be just responding by giving multiple examples, right?
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So the sessions are interactive sessions. I am already saying that I'll be showing statement by statement. You'll be responding for every statement I type, right? The expected output. Whether your answer is correct or wrong, you people will be keep responding. It's not like one-side interaction, just I'll speak and going off for 1 hour and go, right? Every from both the sides. So you'll be responding with the result. So nothing theoretical here, everything practical, step by step, everything I'll be showing you, right? Yes. Tomorrow session you attend, right? I'll be showing you some sample coding snippets of Python, another importance of Python, other things, right? From day after tomorrow onwards, we'll be starting with that Python, from the Python basics onwards, right? Yes. Any more queries, right?
I hope you'll be giving some assignments also, right?
Yeah, definitely. Every Friday I'll be providing some kind of assignments to you for every topic. So with the assignments only, you are going to get a command on the subject, right? Where you are going to build your own code. Getting the output is not the criteria I was saying you, but you need to write your own code and execute it. and you will come to know which functionality to be used. And wherever you get an error, you will be digging and you'll be exploring that kind of error. Whenever it comes next time, right, you can just see what is the error. So many assignments will be provided where you will be writing your own code, so to build your confidence, right?
Yes. Okay.
So what about any live projects, sir?
So project, see, I said I'll be showing you 20 applications creations. One second. 20 applications creations. At the last, I'll be showing you a project, right? Total. This weekend or project, I said 20 applications, more than that only I'll be showing you, right? I'm saying this, all this. Open any other Django applications, right? See this Django project, Django my project, right? So for all this, yes. So you can attend the sessions tomorrow, day after tomorrow also, right? To see more on this, right? So if I'm done with your queries, then I'll sign off for now. Meet you tomorrow, same time at 8 p.m., right? With the same link to see more on this, right? Still, if you've got queries, ask me in the tomorrow session also, right? Yes.
Hi, sir. I got one question. I never did any programming, so is the Python is only good for me or for the job chores, or I need like full stack?
So if I say if you people go for other technologies like big data, Hadoop, I can say there is some prerequisites, but for Python there is no prerequisite, right? So there is no prerequisites. You'll be understanding. Only thing is at least 1 hour you need to spend for that practical, and you need to experiment it. Nothing. Everything is understandable. Looks like normal English statements. Tomorrow you can just attend the session. I'll be showing you some codings in Python, right? Just observe it, how it looks, right? Fine.
And how do I pay for the course? Like,
so you can see in the chart panel, right? A post is given by this online team, DURGASOFT online team. If you observe this, like you can see the payment process, procedure, everything, their contact details for any, okay, everything is provided there. Contact details, payment process and procedure. After payment, you are supposed to provide a screenshot of your payment to that. Just copy that message, right, which is given by DURGASOFT, right?
Is there any fast
with
track?
Python, what kind of job I can apply for? Like,
see, I said like
only
if you are looking for a pure Python job, Python developer job is available. Otherwise, using Python, implementing different other high-end technologies, you can update and you can go for it. Machine learning engineer, you can go. Data science, data scientist, you can go. Big data, or many other high-end technologies, right? Implemented using Python.
Is there any
Thanks.
fast track batch, sir? In how many days it will take?
So people who wants to go for fast track, right, means they doesn't want to spend 2.5 months. If you want to complete with 1 month, 1.5 month also, you can just after you get enrolled, right, I'll ask you to join 2 batches. Means you need to spend 2 hours per day.
Okay.
Fine. Means this batch will be there where you will be learning basics. At the same time, after 10 days of its completion, you will be going with 2 hours other batch, where any like Python database concept or other concepts going on, you will be attending the sessions parallel. Means you'll be getting entire knowledge what the other people also getting, but less time with less duration, right?
Different.
So those who have got urgency, those who doesn't spare more like 2 months, like 2.5 months, right? If you want to complete within 1 month, 1.5 month, right? For those, you need to spend more. Fine, right? I'm running out of time as of now.
So,
yes, yeah. Any query?
What you said, fast track. Now this team is going to split based on their wishes.
No, not like. At least everyone will be going, but there will be some specific, some people like 2 or 3 or 4 people, right? Where they want urgency. For those people, I'll ask, means already they'll be going for 10 days. They'll be going with the Python basics. Later, they'll go with 2 hours with other batch where I got already running. My batch is running, right? We started. In that any new topic started, they will be attending that topic also.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Fine. Okay. So any other queries you can ask me in the tomorrow session also, right? Same time using the same link. So thank you all for your time. Thank you and meet
Thank
you
you, sir.
tomorrow. Fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.